I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we're breaking down all the goals scored in the Europa League between Lyon and Manchester United. Now, let's be fair, Manchester United haven't had a good season, and this is their only saving grace to get into the Champions League. I don't think they're going to win this tournament, but you know what? They're putting up a good fight. And I'm going to show you a couple of little clips here before we get into the absolute travesty that is Onana in goal. This is a common thing in football recently. Watch this. Here we go. The pass is going to be played, okay? He's going to continue his run and have the ball feed into the back. But watch how lazy the central midfielder is actually covering, this space, getting back, and you can see the gap there that's going to be exploited. United didn't do this enough, in my point of view. They didn't really take advantage of how poor and open Lyon were. You can see how close they are here as he's taking his little look. Their ball's played. Look how close they are together there. As he starts to go on his run, you can see on the Lyon midfield is just nowhere near him. Absolutely nowhere near him. He's just shocked that, oh, look, I've got to track a runner. And you can see the acres of space that United have got for the ball in behind. And this is kind of the lack of quality that United have. They do all those good things right. They get the ball out wide, in a wide area, down here in the little half space. And then they deliver a half-decent cross. It's okay. But the poor quality in finishing, this is just smashed as hard as he can. All you've got to do is try to get it on target, and he just smashed it as hard as you can. Lyon, on the other hand, had just as many chances and just as many smashes over the bar. It was pretty poor on both sides for the level of finishing, but just showing that United can do it. They can get in behind Lyon and they can create chances. Now here we are on the Lyon free kick, which is just put onto the back post and it dribbles in. Now, if you've ever coached enough football, or like I have for as many years, when you're coaching certain levels of teams, one of the things that you always do, especially in these wide free kicks, is you say, just make sure that your free kick goes on frame. At some point, if everybody misses it, it gets to go into the goal. That's all he's done here. And it's a simple catch for the goalkeeper. But I want to show you why, technically, he just isn't good enough. And if you watch any of my Man United breakdowns, you'll see how many times I comment on Onana doing this wrong. And here's the point. The goalkeeping coaches at United don't spot this. No one picks up on this because, quite frankly, it's above their pay grade. They aren't good enough coaches to understand the technical flaws that Onana's got that he isn't going to fix at this point in his career. One of the things as a coach, you have this sort of this thing, okay? So it doesn't matter how good a player is; it matters how bad they are. What does that mean? If there's some things technically in their game that are so bad, you can't coach them out. People think you can. You can't. They get to a point when they get to a certain age and you can't coach it out of them. It's almost impossible. And the reason for that is, imagine that they've done this one little technical thing wrong until they're 25, 26 years old. They've done it maybe 10, 20,000 times wrong. So they need to do it 40,000 times right. You can't. There's not enough time to re-get them to do it correctly and coach them and getting it right. So when people have these little technical flaws, people go, oh, why aren't they getting that player or buying that player? It's because they see in certain situations, he's always going to have this technical problem and he's always going to do this thing wrong. And that's what Onana does. And it's his footwork. When I play this, we're going to move this on just a little bit, bump, right? If you noticed it right there, okay, I'm going to play it from another angle and slow it in a couple of times so you can see it. That's his problem. And look how wide his gait is. He can't jump, move, or do anything. He doesn't have any weight. If you ever done martial arts, and you'll know about or boxing or anything, when your feet stance has to be in a certain way so you can go left or right and you can move quickly. It's similar in goalkeeping. Not the same, but it's similar. Gung Fu, it's called Mimbo, when you're 50-50 and you're on both feet so you can go either way, left or right. He can't move. He can't go anywhere. Look how wide his stance is when this ball comes in. No one's touching it. Look, see his feet move again? No one touches it, and he's on the ground. He doesn't know what to do. I'm going to show you from the other angle. I'm going to show you how many times he moves his feet. And remember, every time he sets his feet, means he can't react. So every single time there's a foot movement as a goalkeeper and he puts his feet down, he can't react because he's putting his feet down. His feet need to be planted, set, ready to go so he can react. He can't be moving and then moving because every movement means he can't react because he's moving. So let's show you. So this is the stance he wants to be in, right? As the ball's struck, watch what he does. See his movement? Boom. Now he's going down to set himself. He was already there. He was already ready to react. Now he's moved his feet once. Watch how many times he moves his feet right now. Watch. Tap, tap, tap. Do you see that? Almost 3 times he's gone, duh, duh, duh. Do you see that? He's moved. Duh, duh, duh. Now he can't react. The ball has already travelled. He's set himself and gone tap, tap, tap really quickly, and he can't react to it because he isn't just looking at the ball. He's looking at the players, doing all of that thing instead of just judging the flight of the ball. All he's got to do is keep his eyes on the ball and catch it. And he refuses to. Just flat out refuses to. Now, if the trajectory of the ball is going towards you and you're looking to catch that ball, right, and then somebody else headers it, you can react to that. But what you can react to is the flight of the ball because you know where the ball is being kicked. Judging or thinking that somebody else is going to head the ball or do something after the fact is a secondary action, right? That's a reaction, but you can see the flight of the ball. You know it's coming. That's the thing that you can defend because that's the thing that you can see. You defend what you can see, not what you think is going to happen, that someone's going to get a head on it or something's going to get a deflection on it. You judge the flight of the ball, you see where it's coming, and you deal with that. He doesn't even do that. It's above his playground. Look, and do you see how as he falls and collapses? The reason he falls and collapses is because he can't spring off his feet because his feet aren't set properly because he's wiggled his feet too many times. He's a technically flawed goalkeeper. And the fact that people are paid, 50 million for this technically flawed goalkeeper shows you how poor the scouting and the level of understanding in football really, really is at the highest level. And I do hear United fans, yeah, God, I can't even say fans right now, talking about Rasmus Højlund. He's not a good striker. He's never going to be. And this is a classic example. Why? So you're a young striker. You know, you're full of energy, you're ready to go, and you win this ball right here. Okay, look at how far these two players are apart. Okay, your first touch isn't good. Well, because it's not really a first touch. You've stopped a pass, so that's acceptable, right? Oh, yeah, you can deal with that. Now you need to power towards that goal. That's what you're up there to do, right? Or create an opportunity. What can you do from here? You're a young striker. You're not in your prime, but if you're thinking of Lamine Yamal, a young player like that, what do you think is going to happen when he picks the ball up? And I'm not saying Rasmus Højlund is in that same level, but what you've got to think about is when you're putting on that United shirt and you're going up front for them and you're a young player, you're expecting him to be something special, and he's not. He's a bang average striker. Bang average, if that. And this is what ends up happening. Now, he's had his second touch, and he's because obviously he was intercepting a pass, he needs to be driving straight between these central defenders here, making them make a decision, okay? And hopefully he comes across and you can go behind him and get your shot off, right? Easy. Drive. Why do you drive towards the middle? Does anyone know? It's because it's where the goal is. That's a great line. I was going to say terrible. It's not. It's a great line. That's the area you want to drive the ball into so you can come out and try to take a shot. Okay. But does he do that? No. He's staying out wide. At this point, he's thinking about going towards the middle of the box. That's not a striker. Strikers don't do that. Strikers are beelining straight for that goal. They're not going wide. They're not going any of that. They're going straight exactly where they need to go, especially young strikers. Like even Nicholas Jackson at Chelsea would be going straight down the middle there as fast as he possibly could. He doesn't have really the pace to get away. Why? Because he doesn't really have the control of the ball as he's trying to run with it. Again, because he's technically flawed. Right now, at this point when he's received the ball, he's got the ball. He needs to be looking to lay it off because he's in a terrible position. Look, do you see the defender's already turned? He had his back turned. The defender's recovered. He's facing the right way. He can't push him, down the side anymore. He can't go this way because that's where the defender's facing. He still needs to drive it behind that defender's back there, but he doesn't understand it. Look, he doesn't understand it. He's taking it to the outside, which is exactly that defender wants him to do. He's like, yeah, come on, mate. You should have gone through the middle behind my back, but he doesn't because he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's been brought to a really good club. Well, it's a really good club, a really high pressure club. And it's killed him. It's killed the player. He doesn't know what to do. And you can see when he gets into this situation here, right? Bump. What does he do? A little bit of a smack it away and just an awful shot at goal. I mean, you're not scoring from there. You're just not. He hits it. And it's just terrible. All of his decision making from the moment that he received the ball. Well, he won the ball. He did the good part. All of it after then was absolutely shocking. Here we are setting up for the next, a free kick. Now, genuinely, when you're doing free kicks like this, it's the same as I yell about in the Premier League every week. Look at the players on top of the D. You have to defend the D. Why? Because the D is in the middle of the goal. Okay, and if you don't defend the D, you're in all sorts of trouble from players that can put the ball back into the box and do damage to you. You always want to have a defender up here splitting these two here. Always. Always. To put pressure on any shots. The other point is, it's the point of the field where the ball ends up the most. In any corner situation, anywhere. Why? Because it's the middle of the field. And you can go on the counter-attack. When you have all your players back like this, you are always, always, always asking for trouble. The amount of times that I do replays and I point out the fact that players, they should have one defender up here, splitting the two, or maybe two defenders so you can go on the counter-attack, and yet they still don't do it. Why? Because they don't actually know. And there's a whole reason for that as well. If you're following one of my coaching courses, you'll start to see me doing all the technical analysis and statistics and what really goes into behind the scenes in football. And you're going to start to realize a lot of coaching, they can't coach. They're following AI. Well, it's not AI, but it's the statistics and what the numbers say. But it's not football. Football will always win. So when this ball comes in here, the keeper, boom, he makes a howler of a punch because there's no one out here to win the second ball. Decent clearance. If his team is set up to win the next punt, the next ball for him. They're not. So it turns that into a terrible mistake, which he could have caught. He could have caught that. As much as everyone's giving Onana grief, which he well deserves, that is another howler of a goalkeeper mistake. He could have just caught that. Didn't need to punch it. Now, what I do like here as well, it's just knocking it back into the danger area just to see what happens. He has a bit of a shot. It's not a very good one, but he's hit it first time. I'm all a fan about that when you're inside the 18-yard box, trying to get your shots or your crosses off as quickly as possible because there's not much space and you're going to get closed down. And this is just a quality header. Honestly, it's good because it's a reactional header. He doesn't have time to think about it. He just comes off him, basically. Bump, bump. It's in the bottom corner. I mean, it's a really good finish of a header. Bump, bump, bump. Straight back into the game. United had to, well, I'd say they had to win this. And the only reason I'd say that is because they don't seem to do too well at Old Trafford right now. But let's move it. I do want to show you that slight difference as well. When I was showing you that space that Lyon had in their defence, United have got. But here's a slight difference with the system that they're playing. Watch how quick the recovery is when the ball goes in behind. He beats his player. Right, bump. Look how quick the recovery is for them trying to squeeze as soon as there's a bit of danger. Not like Lyon's centre midfielder who was stood there, making a cup of tea before he started to go for a run. Instantly, they're starting to close that gap down and close that space down. You can see there is a little bit of a difference there in level. There is. Not much, but a little bit of a difference. Now, I'm not covering all the misses and all the bad opportunities because I'd be here all night. Genuinely, I think there's probably 3 good opportunities from both teams where they easily should have scored if they had anybody that could have a bit of composure and just pass the ball in the goal properly. But they don't. But this is going on to where United scored their first goal. I used to, there was about a year period when I was saying this when I was coaching, and it's really inappropriate, but just touch it, just touch it, just touch the ball, just touch it. And you're yelling that constantly, I had to change saying that. But this is kind of what I mean by that. It's the same as the first goal. He's just kind of touched it back into the area. My team knew exactly what I meant. When you're in a situation like here where Lyon's defended it and it's in this area and pocket of space, are you really going to get possession of the ball here in this scenario? Probably not. You're not. The ball's bouncing. It's very, very difficult. So the only thing you can do is touch it forward, get the ball moving forward, and then try to deal with the second ball in a minute. And that's exactly what he does here. Love it. Just puts his head in danger. Doof, knocks it forward. Don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm just knocking the ball forward and going to help out and seeing what comes of it. That's so important sometimes on these second balls. You see a lot of people trying to control it and pass it. And as they're trying to control it, the defending player comes in, takes it away, and just takes all the pressure off. I love the fact they just knock it forward and try to deal with something further on down the field. 2 things that talk about this goal as well, other than that, the little knock on. So we've got 1 great little knock on, 2 is going to be the cross, and 3 is the finish. All 3 things are superb, but the defending is awful. You can see, look, he goes halfway. He's not anywhere near pressuring the ball there. Behind you. He's behind you. Not even looking. Doesn't even notice him. The ball's pretty pinpoint as well, but it's made easier because he's completely unmarked. And another shocking goalkeeper error. Look at where the ball is for the goalkeeper. I mean, Onana's made some howlers in this game, but so's he. I mean, it's shocking. It's right at him. You can see it. He can save that. Nope. Really, really good. Well, not a really good goal. Really good cross. The finish is on target, and the keeper flapping. She's flapping all over the place. Both keepers in this game are shocking. So this is what the reason is I don't think United have got any hope of winning the Europa League, and it's composure. You're winning. It's 2-1. All you've got to do is calm down a little bit and see the game out, right? Don't panic, especially with experienced players that are on the field. But watch this. What's that? You're jumping in the air, dancing, and letting the player go straight past you. You just stand him up. He crosses it. But you just made it easy for him. Now what has to happen is another headless chicken is going to run out like a headless chicken and leave his space and leave the player that he's marking because you've run like a headless chicken. It's one of those concertina effects. One player does it, another one does it, another one does it, another one does it, and before you know it, the ball's in the back of the net. So let's watch what happens. As he starts running, boom, boom, boom. Oh, look, he's now opened up a massive space. Well, yeah. And guess where you've got it, straight to where he's come from. Now here's the trick. See him running and trying to pressure the ball? You just want to kind of get goal side because he's on the wrong side of him. Look, he's there and he needs to be there. All he needs to do is run there so he can't turn and get to shot off and just try to hold him up. Don't try to win the ball. It sounds silly. You're in the box. You're not trying to win the ball. You're trying to make sure he cannot turn and shoot. It's very different right there. But because he goes to try to win the ball, look, watch, he puts his little foot in, boom, 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 boom. He just back heels it. It's all too late. All too late. Now look, we've got another headless chicken. What's he doing? Diving in. 1, 2. Sorry, 1, 2 was the second one. 3. This is our fourth diver inner. As he dives in, look, he's on the ground. Everyone's just in 6s and 7s. No one's composed. Everyone's just panicking. The cause of their own downfall. And they've got Onana in goal because, well, that is one of the other reasons why the defenders are so panicky, is because they see Onana in goal and, well, yeah, you just don't want any shot to go off because you're in fear of it going in. And too right, because here we go. Here comes the shot. Bosh. What's the keeper do? Drop it. It's clearly onside, but look, as the shot goes in, how many players are on the floor for United? We've got so many headless chickens. One person not paying any attention because he could have been making a run there to try to stop the striker running in. He's not even aware. He just assumes the keeper's going to catch it, which he's probably right. He should do, but he doesn't because it's Onana. And then this is actually a little good finish here. The Lyon player running in because he's got to flick it past him. Look, he hasn't even reacted to it. Flick. Gets himself a goal. It's going to be tricky at Old Trafford. I think United, honestly, I do think United are still going to go through. I still think they're going to beat Lyon at Old Trafford. I just think it's going to be a mess of a game. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.